Vaccine passports, we talked about them yesterday, weren't we, of course, because they are going to be rolled out in Wales, with the unvaccinated banned from many events after the policy was voted through at the Welsh Senate last night. Mandatory COVID passes will be needed in nightclubs and big sporting events, coming into force across Wales from Monday. Now, it has been a contested issue with a heated protest with many people gathering outside the Parliament there in Cardiff. And also, a bit of controversy yesterday. Some Assembly members apparently weren't able to leave their offices and to vote. There were problems with people being able to vote through that system. But I think we can take a look at some of the pictures of the protesters outside, as I say, the Senate there in Wales. But the measure did scrape through with a single vote, 28 politicians voting in favour, 27 against. Well, delighted to say that we're joined now by Richard Taylor. He is down the line talking to us about this. Richard, very good afternoon to you in Monmouthshire there. Just talk us through, I think you were outside yesterday, weren't you? Just talk us through what happened.
Yeah, I was at the demonstration yesterday because, of course, here in Wales, they've been putting a motion through the Senate to make vaccine passports mandatory in certain settings. Of course, the protesters were there simply to, let their voices be heard that we're against this because it's discriminatory. And of course, what we saw yesterday was nothing more than democracy being denied over a technical glitch. The voting went 28 for the motion, which was to make vaccine passports mandatory, and 27 against. Now, one of the members was unable to get into the hybrid voting system, which, to give your viewers an idea, Darren, it's where 50% of the members are there in person and 50% are there remotely. So they vote by proxy through Zoom or whatever it is they use as their hybrid voting system. Well, apparently, Gareth Davies, the MS for Clwyd, was at the conference in Manchester, the Conservative conference in Manchester, and was unable to access the voting system. Now, he'd already indicated on social media that he was going to vote against this motion, which would have meant that this vote, it wouldn't have gone through. It wouldn't have passed, and we would not have been faced with something that's going to have huge societal impact now here in Wales upon its citizens, creating a two-tiered society. Now, in the last hour, Darren, I can tell you that a statement has been issued by Gareth Davies, and if I can read some of it, he said, yesterday evening, IT challenges meant that I was unable to access the remote voting system. Throughout the voting period, I was speaking with the Chief Whip and Welsh Conservative staff members in an attempt to solve the IT issues. Now, in the Senate yesterday, there were scenes where the presiding officer was heard saying to one of the other members, Darren Miller from the Welsh Conservatives, that he was trying to get through, but she would not let him. She said, no, you can't because his time is elapsed. And personally, I think this has been a denial of democracy over a technical glitch.
Well,
and in effect,
well, I'm just going to say, because we can look at this.
Yeah.
As you say, it was very close. It's 28-27. Yeah. Let's just have a look at what happened in this technical glitch that led to that very close vote just getting through.
The next vote, Rhys Bowen, if you're still not able to vote, then I'll ask for an oral vote.
And Chloe, we still have a member who's desperately trying to get into Zoom but cannot get into...
No, Darren Miller, we are holding the vote, please, and we have made every opportunity possible for that named member to get in, including sharing my personal phone.
Close the vote.
O blaid, dau ddeg.
In favour, 28, no abstentions, 27 against, and therefore the regulations are approved. The next vote.
Pretty relieved, it seemed, Mark Drakeford, in many regards. So this all comes into effect on Monday, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does come into effect on Monday. And Mark Drakeford will be very relieved because since I've been involved in politics, I don't think he's ever lost a motion or a vote of this magnitude in the Assembly, and it's the closest we've ever seen. And all this has come about because of a so-called technical glitch. Now, there's calls for this to be recalled. The nightclub industry here in Wales are asking for the vote to happen again. I know there are some people looking at the possibilities of some legal action that could be potentially taken. Now, if it had gone to a deadlock and he had voted, obviously it would have been 28-28. The cast-in vote would have gone, according to the standing orders here in Wales, section 620, would have gone to the presiding officer, and she would have had the final say. but she couldn't vote in favour with the government, so she would have to vote against it, which means it wouldn't have gone through and it would have been dead in the water. So as a result now here in Wales, because of a technical glitch, Darren, we're faced with a situation where the people of Wales now have been told by the government that they have to present vaccine passports in certain settings. It is an absolute disgrace.
I mean, in saying that, we should say Mark Drakeford called it an extraordinary moment. He said the vote was conducted, the vote is conducted not for the government, it's for Parliament and its members' responsibility to make sure they're in the chamber or on Zoom. He also would make the point, this is a policy that's in essence trying to keep people safe at a time when the pandemic has not gone away, and also, and we've seen this in France and Ireland elsewhere, and to drive up vaccination rates. That's why he's doing it. It's why the UK government, it must be said, why the UK government has not ruled it out either.
Vaccination rates are dropping here in Wales already because less people are testing. Okay, we've seen that. The ONS figures tell us that. The Public Health in Wales are telling us that. And what this will do now is it'll transpire that they'll say, as a result of introducing vaccine passports, we're seeing the numbers fall. It's not true. Vaccine passports, there is no evidence to show that vaccine passports will help with encouraging people to get the vaccine. The government have done enough coercion over the last few months, offering people the jab. My children, I'll give you a personal example here, Darren. My two eldest children are 21 and 20. Both of them have had the vaccine. You know the reason why they've had it? Because they want to go on holiday. Now, I've spoken to them as their dad, and I've given them my opinion, so it's personal to me as well. And I think millions of people around the country are feeling the same, that the government are forcing people. They won't call it mandatory, but it is, because you can't go to watch the rugby, my beloved Wales, in the Millennium Stadium, unless you can provide a vaccine passport. It's pure discrimination. And I think, what we're seeing at the moment, I fear for the future of Wales and for politics here in general, because, we don't want the state involved in our everyday lives and telling us what we can and cannot do, where we can go and where we can't go. It's just wrong. Ethically, morally, it's just completely wrong.
Okay, Richard, that's your view. I'm sure people agree with you, and I'm sure some don't, but that's the joy of GBNews. Thank you very much indeed. Richard Taylor there joining us from Monmouthshire in Wales. Okay, we're going to take another quick break here on the briefing this afternoon. Up next, we're going to be talking